Maitland freedom appeal begins now. Get this to 200 likes. We cannot let this happen. No, this man deserves to stay in prison. Trust and believe. You understand, my people? Welcome to Virtual TV Entertainment. A video will be posted on Virtual TV Vlog, so you can go over there, check it out and subscribe. You understand me? Okay? Yes. So, with that being said, everybody, we're going to talk about it. Now, his legal representative now says that they're heading to the Court of Appeal, and if that don't work, then they might go to the Privy Council. NOEL MAITLAND is innocent. That's what they say. Yes. Can you believe it? They're saying that he is innocent, and he's saying that he's innocent, and he's saying that the battle has been lost, but the war has just begun, and we cannot allow this man to come out. You understand me? 1,000 people comment guilty, 500 people like this video. Watch this.
My reaction is simple. Nothing happened that we did not expect in terms of how the judge treated the matter, and so as I indicated when he was convicted, there's another process, and one mustn't mistake the battle for the war. Right, so he has lost this battle, but the war still continues.
The war, as in appeal, is still on.
As in appeal, is still on.
Okay, in your submission, based on the time, what's your reaction to what you submitted for eligibility before parole and what he got?
Well, of course, as his counsel, I must go to the lowest under the circumstances. The prosecution, of course, went to the highest, and so what he did was to fall somewhere in between, although more in favor of the prosecution. Which is expected, which is what the judge usually do.
Is it in favor of the prosecution or based on the nature of the cases that were cited in court?
Well, we cited cases too, which took it to the lower level, as you will recall.
Based on the circumstances.
Based on the circumstances, and those cases were far more egregious.
Welcome to each and every one. Welcome. You just heard his lawyer a while ago. That is Christopher Townsend. Yes, my people. The appeal has now begun. NOEL MAITLAND now waste no time. And to that I say, where the money get so much money from? Where is he getting all this money? Because the last time I checked, it's not cheap when it's not cheap to go to the Privy Council. We hear how much money cartel pay for go to the Privy Council. Where so much money come from? But according to sources, they say that NOEL MAITLAND is not strange to the things that he has been accused of, meaning another first him do it. It might be the first female, but another first. You understand me? It's not the first. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, my people, we will now get into the source, and I will let you know what is happening right now where NOEL MAITLAND is concerned. Okay? So, with that being said, let's go. The headlines are NOEL MAITLAND vigilant in pursuing what happened to Donna, says his attorneys. And the freedom filing work is now beginning. The Privy Council is on the way. I'm going to tell you what the preparations are leading into the Privy Council with NOEL MAITLAND people. We cannot allow this man to come out. He has now said that he has lost the battle. No, yes, he says he might have lost the battle, and them convicted, got life in prison, right? And he has to spend 32 years in prison before becoming eligible for parole. So he's saying that he might have lost the battle, but the war is beginning, and he will now fight teeth and nail to walk free, because he must say on him, he's not the one that did it. And you say, I'm not him do it. So, let's get into it, my people. Now, Kingston, Jamaica, defense attorney Christopher Townsend says recently convicted client NOEL MAITLAND maintains his innocence and is invested in finding out the circumstances behind the disappearance of girlfriend Donna Dawson. Now, speaking outside of the Home Circuit Court on Friday, moments after Maitland was sentenced to life in prison for Donna dropping, Townsend told reporters that you will remember from the case starting, he has been the one of the persons, or one of the persons that was vigilant in trying to pursue where the body is and what happened. I mean, what occurred, what will recall the evidence that he was the one who went to look on the video cameras, and that is a two-faced lie, because the only time Noel Maitland requested to see the footage from his neighbor was to see if he did a smoke a spliff according to him, so JCF wouldn't see it to give him promotion. Talk the truth, Mr. Liar. Tell the people that you're really trying to milk out the money. Tell the people that you want the opportunity to go to the Privy Council. It is the highest honor for any attorney. Tell them say that. Tell them say you know it is not cheap and you want some money. Can Noel Maitland even afford this? Can't lie to the people, let us continue. Okay? Anyway, Townsend said that he did not think Maitland's feelings had changed. The defense attorney also reflected on comments by the judge that Maitland had a right to maintain his innocence, noting that the statement came following the prosecution's attempt to allow Maitland to say what in effect would have been a confession to say, yes, I did it and I am sorry that I did it. So that is what they were looking for, the prosecution, that is. Now, Townsend said that he was in agreement with the judge who stopped the prosecution from going further. Now, from them, the prosecution to say there was no remorse based upon that would be a confession. That's wrong. The judge would not be entitled to consider to what he said. Now, Townsend shared that Maitland had expressed remorse about the situation. What we advanced was the report. He did say that the circumstances as they present themselves are, well, presenting difficulties for not only his family, but for the family of Donna Donaldson, and those circumstances were uncomfortable for him at the very least. And so from now, the perspective, there would have been remorse, Townsend said. Now, Maitland was sentenced to life in prison of the dropping and charged with the possibility of parole after 32 years and 4 months. The sentencing to 2 years for unlawful burial of corpse is the extra 2 years that he will now have to spend rather. You understand? So, people, what is happening right now is that Christopher Townsend and his list of attorneys are now to the point where they are now preparing to go to the Privy Council. Noel Maitland is determined and adamant that he had nothing to do with Donna Donaldson's death. Okay? As a matter of fact, in the statement that you just heard a while ago, they're saying that if you remember, Noel Maitland helped them to look for Donna too. He was one of the persons, according to them, that helped to look for Donna Donaldson. And that was one of the reasons he says that he was exploring CCTV camera footage when he made the inquiry. No, these, according to the prosecution, is not what's being perceived at all. Let me tell you what is being perceived. It is perceived that Noel Maitland did indeed commit the crime and also cover up the crime as well, and went to great lengths to do so. And there were examples of this display based on what they're saying. Noel Maitland, according to them, said that he was more concerned about covering up of the crime. As I mentioned in previous videos, over 20 phone calls were made and only one of those phone calls were met to Donna Donaldson. One, they're saying also another example with the famous couch. Noel Maitland wasn't satisfied with how it was dealt with. he decided to take the power wash for himself, or what appeared to be a power wash, and wash the couch, so he would have been satisfied. And that is what they're saying, that he was ultimately more concerned about covering his tracks than finding Donna Donaldson, and that is why they're saying he's guilty. We have more to come, stay tuned. Today is of course Manifest Mondays, my people. Don't go away, soon forward.